Hello there, my name's Dane on the Metro, and welcome to the Box Turtle Collection Update, and many thanks for watching. You may remember the last Turtles Collection Update video that I did, that I showed you a few of the sets that I managed to get. And in this video you'll see that I managed to get a few others, and I've got something else as well which you might be interested in seeing. Here you can see I've got a little model of James, very little, it's obviously been very squished up, his tender's sort of been built into the back of his cab. And this little model of James, I'm sure you'll agree the face looks really good. It looks just like what it did in the TV series. Anyway, and this was available with the Daily Mirror books. Now there isn't an advert on YouTube, but there is an advert on Daily Motion. And this and a toy of Thomas actually came with the Daily Mirror books. And I picked this up for 49p. It was in a charity shop and I saw it and I thought it's a nice little model of James. He is one of my favourites, so I decided to get it. And here's the rest of the items that I got recently. So here's one of the first sets that I got. Now this one I brought off of eBay, and funnily enough, the owner that was selling it lived in Rushden. Rushden was the town that's pretty much next to Wellingborough where I live, and it was also the place where I did my train driving experience at the Rushden Transport Museum. Anyway, the seller was on eBay, and he was selling this through someone that used to take photos for catalogues, and just there you'll see a sticker there telling the photographer what to take photos of. And this was made in the 1990s, although I can't entirely see whenabouts in the 1990s it was because of the sticker just there. But like I said, this was from someone that used to take photographs. And out of all the sets that I've got, this one I actually remember seeing in the shops the most. I remember this sort of scene. And it's funny actually because, as you know, there's an episode called Toad's Adventure where James is seen pulling Toad the brake van. And the moment I saw that episode, I thought of that. Just there, as you can see, James is pulling Toad just there, like he was in the episode Toad's Adventure. Also on there, funnily enough, you've got D199, who obviously worked on the main line. You've got BoCo pulling the mail train. BoCo never pulled the mail train, it was Percy that pulled the mail train, but nevertheless it still looks really good. And you've got Sir Handel pulling Stanley Cage trucks there. But, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be that realistic. Obviously Sir Handel's narrow gauge engine. But, you know, it's a children's toy at the end of the day, so it doesn't have to be exactly realistic. But yeah, this one was second hand. Well, I say second hand, it was more or less brand new. And if I open the side of it just here, well, no, actually, it's not that side. This side of it was open. However, as you can see, there is the level crossing and the track and the level crossing gates. And track, all completely brand new. Some instructions there on how to put the track and the level crossing together. Nothing on that side, just that side. And then there are all the stickers that go on the signals and the level crossings. So although this has been opened clearly, everything is completely brand new, and that's how I intend to keep it. There's the side of the box there, with a different sort of play scene. Funnily enough, as you can see, the gates on this set are grey instead of white, but the gates that come with this set are actually, there's one just there, where my finger's pointing, and they are white here like they should be. Obviously they're the stickers that go on it. And there's an advert on the back of the box for the Turntable set. Yeah, and then it shows you there all the things that you can get in this set. The only thing you don't get is all the engines, but it does say along the bottom again, the context of this pack may vary from illustration. Engines and coaches not included. Recommended ages 3 and up. So yeah, that's the branch line play track set. Here's another one that I got. You may remember the last one that I just showed you, as I said, came from a seller from eBay. This was from him as well. However, he gave this to me for free. I never actually paid for this one, which I thought was quite good. Again, this was belonged to that photographer. There's a note for the photographer there saying, please show both sides of this box so we can digitally correct ripped text on front. And there's the ripped text there at the top. As I said though, this one was second hand and free, so I'm not going to complain too much about the state of the box. There's a price tag there that was once on it. And again, if you open this one, I'll show you it from the side first of all. You may remember, obviously, that I've got the station house in one of the sets, and this is pretty much that. As I said, this one it is pretty much open. However, the station and that is all completely brand. This is all completely sealed. This box hasn't even been opened. As you can see, it's all sealed. So that's the station there, dry oil station. And then here you've got all the stickers and that you can put on the station. And then inside there was a bag that obviously was opened, and you've got all the bits of track. This is the old style track, the newest, and this was out when I was younger. And then when I was about 12 years old, they changed the style of the track, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And there's a dry oil station sign there without the sticker on it. So like I said, this is second hand, but I say some of it's sealed, some of it's not. But you know, like I said, it was a freebie at the end of the day, so I'm not going to complain too much, and it's still in really good condition. And like I said, I do have the station house itself actually sealed. It's just that this one, like I said, was clearly, obviously, a set. And you've got a very nice scene there on the front. And then if you turn onto the back, it shows you everything that's included, pretty much. And it also advertises the turntable play track that you can get. Again, along the bottom tells you that the contents may vary from illustrations. Obviously the engines and the figures aren't included. But yeah, I think that's a really nice one. So here you can see I've got a few more of the ERTL miniatures. You probably saw that I got Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle before. And as you can see here, in this one is Edward, Bertie and Trevor. And if you turn over, it says that this was made in 1991, and it advertises all the others you can get. So there's Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle, the one that I've got. And these are pretty similar to the ERTL miniatures. The ERTL miniature keyrings, that is. You may remember I got the keyrings. I showed you them in a previous video. The only one I didn't have of them was Percy and Diesel, Percy and Thomas in the box. However, as you can see here, I've got Percy, James, and Edward in this one. And that Percy there is more or less similar to what is the Percy keyring, but without the keyring attachment on the back of it. And on the back it says this one was also made in 1991. So like I said, there are a few more of the miniature ones that I've got. And I know obviously at one point they did miniature sets, and they did ones like Duck and Bill and Ben and things like that. Who you can also get in the keyring range. So here you can see I've got some of the newer type of track they did in ERTL. Obviously it's discontinued now, but obviously there was the grey type of track which I showed you, and then this came out later. This was a lot better because obviously the sleepers and that and the grass, there was a lot more detail. And a lot of people have commented on my videos before saying, you know, why do you have that awful grey track? But that's because when I was younger, the grey, I sound old now, but the grey track wasn't around. It wasn't until I was about 10 or 11 that this track came out. And according to the back of the box, Came out in 2003, so I'd have been 10 then. And on the back, there's no description card as such because it's not a character or anything, but it's got a photo of Thomas, Percy, and Mavis pulling a troublesome truck over a bridge, and quite a nice scene. And I remember seeing that picture in a few magazines. Yeah, so that's the newer type of track that they do. And as you know, there was obviously many different types of packaging the Thomas engines came in over the years. But like I said, this is the one that that this came in. I've got a few more sets which I shall now show you. So here you can see I've got the Turntable playset. And this is in the newer type of packaging, the blue style of packaging that you can get engines in. So this is the same sort of thing really, but a lot bigger. And one thing that's a bit disappointing is they haven't put any tender engines or big engines to go on the turntable. It's literally just either Bill or Ben, Percy, Thomas, Mavis. Saying that though, Thomas is pulling express coaches, which I suppose is quite nice. And there's a little notice there saying that the contents of this pack may vary from the photo. Engines and coaches not included. Because literally in this pack, all you get is the engine shed there, the turntable and all the track and the signals and all that. You don't get Harold or Percy or Thomas or any of the engines. This is a little bit sun faded, this one, but like I said, it wasn't too expensive anyway. And it's all completely sealed and brand new. So yeah, that shows you everything that you get in this set. And it says Turntable playset, and it's got it written in a few other different languages as well. And it says here this was 2001, which is when the blue style type of packaging came out that I showed you. So like I said, I'm keeping this one in the box as well. And I remember, and preferably, obviously, there's the older style type of box which I showed you earlier. And I preferred that because there was a lot more sort of action and tender engines on the turntable than this one is. But nevertheless, I'm still happy to have it, regardless of what type of packaging that it comes in. The next one is basically, it comes with dry or station again. However, it's slightly different because you can see a little button just there, and it makes noises so like peep peep, chug chug. And there's Thomas, and then there's a helipad there for Harold the helicopter. And that makes noises as well. And as you can see, it says there, includes 3 realistic sounds. And there it shows you what you can get in this range. So it shows you everything that's included. So for once, everything that you see on the box is actually included, including Thomas and Harold. However, it does still warn that the contents of this pack may vary from the illustration. But it shows you obviously you need batteries and things like that, and not suitable for children. Nice illustration, Thomas there in the corner. And if you look further around the box, it says this was released in 1999. And I do actually remember seeing this in a magazine, competition to win it. I never entered that competition. I didn't enter all the competitions, as you know. And then I've got one more that I wish to show you. So here is the last one that I got. And again, this is in the very newer type of packaging that was released right up until the end of ERTL, when ERTL unfortunately stopped. So it's sort of like a big value pack, and in it you get Thomas, the Fat Controller's car, and one of the old coaches. And in the episode Trouble in the Shed, Thomas was seen pulling the old coaches. And then, if you look carefully, you can see it comes with obviously the level crossing and that, and there's Thomas there. Thomas is also on the bridge there. Percy's there as well. Obviously, Percy doesn't come with it, and neither does Annie and Clara. Of course, you only get one Thomas. It says this was released in 2004. 2004 was when the range was discontinued. And again, this being obviously one of the newer ones, you can see comes with the newer type of track. And again, I do remember seeing this one advertised in magazines. There'll be in competitions to win it. Well, one competition, I should say. And here's the back of the box. Again, it says that it may vary from what you see. Some assembly required. And so I think out of all the sets I've got, in some ways this is one of my favourite ones. So it does come with a very nice bridge there, as you can see. And saying it certainly looks fun to play with, like I said, but once again, I'm not going to be playing with any of this. This is just for collection purposes. And there's something else on top there. Basically, telling you that stories that you can have or do while you're playing with it. So that's all the sets and that I've got for the time being. Thank you very much for watching this video. Remember, in the description below this video is links to the other YouTube, so box Turtle collection updates that I've made. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.